Everybody, Professor Doom here. There are a few things that I want to talk to you about today while I have you all here. Very interesting situation going on in the Middle East. It appears that this is going to kick off very soon. I've already said this in other videos. I said that I do not doubt if Yemen collaborated with Iran, Lebanon, and possibly other countries. Now even the United Arab Emirates is now getting into the mix of all this. And with the coordination, I can almost bet you that there was an agreement that Yemen was going to kick this off. And now they have drawn the United States military ships over into that area. And believe me, with Russian military weaponry to help them out, they can sink one or more of our naval ships. Well, what does this have to do with this scene right here? Consider this, what I've already said. If you spark a big conflict in the Middle East, drawing our troops, which is, this almost seems like it could be already pre-planned or pre-coordinated. And look at, there are just lines and lines and lines. And there are even immigrants in the background, in the peripheral here that you can see. Just going to play some of it for you. And these are the people, all men, that are waiting to get over the border into the United States. Now, let me clarify something for you. It's going to keep going. But they're not at the United States yet. But can you imagine to add already the burgeoning amount of people that we already have that have come over the border? This is not a good sign. It's not going to wind up good for us. But there's a few other things that are going really bad as well. Not only World War III about ready to spark off, not just the fact that immigrants are going to make their way over to add to the already swelling amount that we already have, but I want to show you, because of the volcanic eruption in Iceland, I want to show you something that was very interesting. Let me bring you to this, and let me see if I can get out of this here and get this thing stopped. So as you can see right here, I'm going to draw this in right here. This is Iceland right there. And as you see, what I've said before is that the weakest point on our Earth is where the earthquakes and the volcanoes are happening. And as you can see, this was Iceland. And I just want to show you guys again, look at where all the volcanoes are, really close to the tectonic plates. And as you can see, all of this volcanic activity is going on, earthquake activity is going on not only where earthquakes are currently erupting or highly active, but they're going on around minor activated volcanoes and dormant volcanoes as well. And as you can see right here, let's bring this up if we can, if it will read. See the earthquakes that are going on around the minor activity of the volcano in Tonga. And you have the Philippines. and you have Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia. How many volcanoes have we seen finally erupt in the past 2 weeks? How about 2 months? How about the past 6 months? And just follow all of the earthquake activity around these volcanoes. And you're going to see there's more and more erupting. Why is this? Because our earth is heating up on the inside. As it heats up on the inside, just like you're boiling an egg, if you overboil the egg, wherever the weak spot on the egg, just like I showed you in one of my other videos, it's going to split right there on that weak line once you boil it, just like the interior of our earth is being superheated right now. And we're going to see more volcanic activity in the coming days. We're going to see stronger earthquakes in the coming days. But now I want to show you a really crazy scene from the Helio viewer. And what is interesting about this is that there is a time-lapsed image of a celestial body passing in front of the sun. And it's not Mercury, it's not Venus, and it's definitely not the moon, because the moon is at such a perfect distance in between the earth and the sun that when the moon passes in between, it will perfectly cover the sun from our view. And Mercury and Venus are much, much smaller. Now, let me show you what Helio viewer showed us. And now the problem is that when you go back and try to capture this image from Helio viewer, it has been scrubbed, or it will not let you go back at that time and get a hold of this image. But it was already captured by somebody else, but I wanted to get a recording of it myself. Let me show you guys that. And it's really interesting because it has been my position, folks, that all of the activity that we're seeing going on right now, all of this push for global warming tells me that they knew this thing was coming. And this is why they've been doing all that they've been doing. With this heating up the core of our earth and causing a heat, this is not a new phenomenon, folks. This has been going on in the past over thousands of years and has come in cycles with the approach of this celestial body. And it just so happens that the people who are in a position of power, knew this moment was going to be coming. And I guarantee you it's going to be getting worse. Now, the question is all of this going on right here, how does the chemtrails fit into all of this? And I know something tells me the reason why they have been chemtrailing all over. It hasn't just been the United States. It has been in all kinds of different countries. And is there some kind of reason why they're doing it? Because of the CMEs? Because the CMEs that are so strong, without the chemtrails, would they have just completely wiped out our whole way of life and we would have been thrust right into the Stone Age? Is that the reason why they've been chemtrailing? To block out the strength of the CMEs. But when you do that, there is a trade-off, isn't there? When you have the chemtrails up there, and when the sun's rays just normal sun's rays, penetrates the earth, well, the atmosphere can't release the heat that is emanating from the earth. Hence, this is why it would be heating up. Is that a possibility? I think it indeed is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a very interesting picture while we're going to talk about, here, let me just show you the helio viewer scene. I'm just going to show you what has already been captured because I can't show you from the helio viewer. But let me just reiterate that this was indeed seen on the helio viewer. Take a look at this object. It's time-lapsed, and I want you to look at the size of this object as it passes our sun. That's time-lapsed. Now, I want to remind everybody about something, that we are looking at the sun from the earth. This object that would be passing in front of the sun, if it was Mercury or Venus, would be a small ball-shaped celestial body. That is not what we are seeing here. I mean, this would be some, if we had a satellite that was taking this image really close to this celestial body right here, then that would look like that. But that's not the case. And this is most definitely something that the gravitational waves could, just like the moon's gravity affects the water, the waves in and out, the tides, right? If you have a celestial body in our solar system that is bigger than the size of Jupiter, what effects do you think that celestial body will have on our planet? Heating up, volcanoes, flooding all over the earth, flooding on the coast of the United States, flooding in Libya that caused a dam to go down in September 11th, the flooding in Turkey, the flooding in Sochi, the flooding in Saudi Arabia. Do I need to keep going on and on and on? Earthquakes so numerous that we can't even count anymore. Volcanoes going off almost daily. Almost. And there were some of them that went off in unison on one day. How does that happen if you have volcanoes that are a certain distance apart going off at the same time? Because the heat in that area has reached such a temperature that the magma, that pressure is thrusting the magma right out a hole of the earth. That's what's going on. But what's causing it? Is it something like this that we're seeing right here on this screen? That's all I got for you, folks. It's time for me to get back to work, and a lot of interesting things going on around the world. And when I get the chance, I will keep you guys updated, because I have a strong feeling that, think about this, folks. What if December 21st of that Mayan calendar wasn't December 21st, 2012, after all. But we're not making any predictions here, because I do believe the Mayan calendar was never saying anything about the end of the world. It was saying the end of an age. But again, you can't forget the prophecy of the Hopi and the blue Kachina. Do you think they made up the story of the ant people taking them underground? Is it made up that our political leaders and the elites have made underground bunkers? Take a look at Mark Zuckerberg or what he's doing in Hawaii right now. Why is he doing it? Why is the earth going through all of these changes, and why is he doing what he's doing? Why has our political leaders created underground bunkers in the Denver International Airport, in Missouri, and other locations that we probably don't even know of? And were they all created for a moment that they knew was coming right now? Look at our earth. Look, why would they be doing what they're doing? And look at our weather. And I think you can put 2 and 2 together and you're going to come up with 4. Thanks, everybody.